So we are very, very blessed to be here today and in your association. And please don't take it for granted that I've been practicing Krishna consciousness for so many years. Not necessarily I may be advanced, but I am confident that the process is bona fide, the process is effective, and Srila Prabhupada's shelter is guaranteeing the success of this human form of life. So with those few words, let us first make a prayer to Shri Radha Madhava. I pray to the feet of Radha Madhava to please empower me to enlighten you with the discussion on Bhagavad Gita, as well as I request all of you to join me in the prayer so that we can actually effectively understand the word of Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Vanachari Prabhupada Brahmam Saparivaja Kacharya Sutra Shashi Srimati Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON BBD Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Guru Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Guru Parampara Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai Yug Dharma Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai Nitai Go Premanande Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuddhapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschadeshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Go Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So everyone can repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasado Jasya Prasada Nagati Kutopi Dhyayan Svam Sasya Yasya Stri Sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswami Namine Hare Krishna. So once again I welcome you all to this evening's satsang, and I choose to read from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita chapter 9. It is entitled The Most Confidential Knowledge. We can see Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 is the center of the Bhagavad Gita. Particularly, if you want to hide something very valuable, where do you put it? Right in the center, right? You hide it right there. So, chapter 9 of Bhagavad Gita itself is entitled the most confidential knowledge. It is not only confidential, it is the most confidential knowledge. And many a times, we have all come across in our lives, we see so many religious belief systems, so many faiths, so many religious processes, so many saintly persons. There's so much happening in this world. Sometimes, I look at the audience, I think, sometimes if you were back in your home countries, probably you would not be seeing so much spirituality than what you are seeing in Sydney. Right? Sometimes you see, you go overseas, it appears like, there's so much more spirituality. Right? So there's so much happening in this world, and so many people are putting so much effort, or doing so many things. Everyone is making an effort. Everyone is making an effort to present to us some spirituality. Right? And there's so many people doing it. And so many people doing it, whilst they are trying to present spirituality, we are getting more and more confused. Right? Somebody is saying this is correct, somebody is saying this is correct. You go to one such sangha, some saintly person is saying this is correct, this is what you should do. So I always encourage people, sometimes as everyone else, we are also human, and we also make mistakes. And we have the tendency to make mistakes. And our senses are limited, and limited senses makes mistake. Just like, you might, in the dark you may see rope, you might consider it snake. So there's imperfection of the senses. So whilst we are presenting this knowledge of God, or spiritual path, or religion, there's so many people doing it, so we can become more confused. So I encourage people, don't listen to anyone. Don't listen to anyone. If you want to know about me, who knows about me better than myself? Would you agree? Who knows better about me? Who knows about myself better than me? So similarly, who knows better about Krishna than Krishna himself? And that is why Krishna is speaking the Bhagavad Gita. In the very beginning, Krishna already said, this knowledge was coming in disciplic succession, but it got lost. How does this knowledge become lost? Because of additions and subtractions. Because sometimes if I were to speak the truth, it may not be palatable. If it is not palatable, I will face opposition. To avoid opposition, I rather not speak the truth. So the message of Godhead is diluted. And this is how, over a period of time, the real spirituality is diluted and lost. The other day, at a home program, I took up this discussion that in our religious inclination, in this inclination, there is actually 4 categories. First category of religious inclination is more so we can call social affiliation. We want to get associated with some spiritual organization as a social function. You have nowhere to go to, you're looking for something, just get affiliated to something nice. So you are really wanting to associate that way. You do not really have an intention to follow something or do something. And why it is so? Because we do not understand what is the goal of spirituality. Or you forget, part the knowledge about goal of spirituality. We actually do not understand what is the goal of human life. So we don't have knowledge to that. Therefore, we'd like to get associated with some religious organization, some spiritual organization, just to get affiliated to. So you can say, an identity. In school we learnt, our cultural identity. So we get an identity. Then some people who are much, getting to understand few things, then they rise to becoming religious devotees. Who are religious devotees? They have some fear. If we did not do this, then this is what will happen. I might incur some sin. Some bad things will happen to me. So religion, basically Prabhupada explains, the word itself, religio, comes from the root Greek word of out of fear. Why do we follow family traditions? I am sure today's young people, actually you don't know why you follow. But you are following because of fear that this is happening, this has been happening in the family and we will have to be obliged to. Somebody passes away, we have to do some shraddh, some yearly annual puja we have to do. This is religious kind of devotees. Then higher than them are the spiritualists. Who are spiritualists? The people who are seeking into some higher power, some higher knowledge, some higher being, some absolute truth, trying to understand that. And the fourth and topmost category is actually category of pure devotees. What is the category of pure devotees? Human life is meant to reawaken our dormant love of Krishna. What does the message say? Dormant love of Krishna. Where is love of Krishna? Where is it? Where is the love of Krishna? Anyone wants to? Although we are forbidden from speculating in Krishna consciousness, but I will give you a chance. Anybody wants to even at least speculate? Where is love of Krishna? Yes, you are correct. Love of Krishna is within everyone's heart. It's within everyone's heart. What is the state of that love? Dormant. It's sleeping. It's sleeping. I'm sure all of you have heard the story of Hanuman going to Lanka in search of Sita. Could Hanuman fly across to Lanka, when he went by the shore? Was he ready to fly immediately? He had the ability, but it was dormant. Right? So he had his monkey friends, we can say that's the devotee association, to awaken it. To awaken it. How do you awaken it? They had to remind him. How did they remind him? They described to him the incidences when he was able to do these things. So Krishna is basically through the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, is bringing back that remembrance to us. And therefore this is such an important task. Such an important task to reawaken the dormant love of Krishna, that even if it meant that Krishna has to stand in the middle of the battlefield, just imagine, battle is about to begin. And Krishna is talking about this. Krishna should tell Arjuna about this. It must be seriously critical, right? In the midst of the battle, you don't talk nonsense, you don't waste time, there's no storytelling. The war is about to happen. This is exactly our situation. What is the greatest war that we are heading into? What is the greatest war? Not, Ukraine and Russia or Donald Trump, not this. The greatest war at hand is death. Death. The greatest war we have to fight is death. What will happen after that? So Krishna is, there is imminent death. Even in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, there's so many people going to die. Yet Krishna is instructing Arjuna. So in this, the verse that we are thinking, that I'm picking for discussion here today, is verse number 14 of chapter 9. And Krishna is saying to Arjuna, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavrata namashyantascha mam bhaktya nritya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So when I came to the temple, it was so nice to see everyone was chanting japa. This is the means to awaken that dormant love of Krishna. The 9 process of devotional service, hearing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma, Vedanam. The 9 process of devotional service. This is meant to awaken. This is meant to awaken love of God. At this early stages of our Krishna consciousness, we are thinking, okay, we are chanting Hare Krishna, I'm able to pass my exam. Let me hear some Bhagavad Katha, Krishna, please grant me permanent residence and, I will sponsor feast in the temple. This is not what devotional service is meant for. Devotional service is meant for reawakening our love of Krishna. When our love of Krishna is reawakened, we know our true situation. We are not beings of this world. We are not beings of this world. We are not supposed to undergo birth, death, old age and disease. We are supposed to be enjoying eternity, blissfulness. Satchidananda Vigraha, that is the quality of the spiritual world. This is where we belong. This is what the state we should be in. But by the association of our senses and by the direction of our mind, manasasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. We are situated in this material nature because of the mind and the senses. Because of the mind and the senses. Look at the whole world. Everything is based on senses. Our judgment of what is beautiful and what is not is dependent on the assessment of the eyes. Just as we said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Right? Someone may look very beautiful to me, very handsome to me, but the same person may not be looking handsome or beautiful to someone's judgment is different. Why? Because it is based on the senses. Based on the senses. And each one of us have our senses spiritually purified to different levels. That is why seeing Radha Gopinath Ji is different for everyone. Everyone sitting here is seeing Radha Gopinath Ji differently. Every one of us is seeing differently. What is the difference? Srimad Bhagavatam says, Akama sarva kamava moksha kamudaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajata purusha param. So all of us have come to the shelter of Radha Gopinath Ji. But some of us have come with akam. Akam means we don't have any material desires. We just want to love to see Krishna, just like the gopis. The gopis, they simply want to see Krishna. When it's morning time, Krishna is about to go to graze the cows, the gopis are very anxious. They are thinking, they want to hear the sound, the galloping of the calves. As soon as they hear the sound, they run to the windows of their house, the doors of their house, to the terraces of their house, because they will get a glimpse of Krishna. This is akam. Or Sarva Kama. Sarva Kama, we can give the example of Dhruva Maharaj. He wanted a kingdom bigger than that of his father. But when he went to look for Narayan in the forest, when we come and see Radha Gopinath Ji, we saying, Radha Gopinath Ji, please get my PR sorted, get my marriage sorted, get my graduation sorted, everything. So just like Dhruva Maharaj, we still come to Radha Gopinath Ji. But once we come, in the process, we become purified, we actually reawaken our love for Krishna. Then this realization comes to us like Dhruva Maharaj, that, oh Krishna, what I have been asking you. What I have been asking you is simply like broken pieces of glass. When in fact, you can grant me your love. You can grant me your love. Krishna is completely abhigya swarat. Krishna is completely independent. Krishna in fact actually has a master plan for everyone. Just like I'm sure, in Sydney we know whatever the city council or whatever is there, the rural authority is there, they have a master plan for the development of the city. So when we are trying to do something within the city, what do we have to do? Our plan has to fit the master plan. If our plan doesn't fit the master plan, what happens to our plan? it gets shoved. Our plane doesn't work. So we should realize it's a lesson for us. Sometimes people may ask, we are praying to Krishna, why is Krishna not granting us everything? Why is Krishna not giving us everything? Why is Krishna not hearing my prayer? So we can now understand that if my prayer does not fit Krishna's master plan, then that's not going to be approved. So we have to learn. We have to learn and understand what is Krishna's master plan. So when we engage a technical person, a consultant, a draftsman, architect or whoever, who knows the rules of the game, who knows the master plan of the council, then does your plan accordingly in compliance, then you get your plan passed. Then your plan goes through. So the scriptures are giving guidance on the master plan of Krishna. The spiritual master, the spiritual teachers, they are the technical draftsmen, the architects, the engineers. They tell us what is the master plan and what do we need to do to be in compliance, to get your plan passed. Go through. Every person has a different plan and every person will have different things to be done so that your plan fits Krishna's plan. I, as a householder, will have to have a different plan. Someone as a brahmachari will have a different plan. Somebody as a worker will have somebody as a student. Somebody as a full-time monk will have a different plan. One plan does not fit everyone. One plan does not fit everyone. The monk in the temple can chant his 16 rounds, in the morning. A householder like me, we probably have to plan it, 4 in the morning when I wake up, 4 before going to work, 4 when I come back from work, and 4 before I go to sleep. That's how my plan comes in compliance with Krishna's plan. Yeah. So we take the guidance of the scripture. So Krishna is saying, always chanting my glories. We should always be glorifying Krishna. And if I can say, you take this example of chanting. Chanting is one of the ways to glorify Krishna. But it fits in differently in everyone's program. It fits in differently. But the plan is chanting. So don't think that you can do something else and it will be devotional service. It has to be chanting. The principle does not change. The principle does not change. Then he says, endeavoring with great determination. Just like students are studying, you are putting effort with determination. You may have, I'm told, I was talking to some devotee, many people students come from Nepal, So you leave your home, you leave your family, you leave the comfort of your... I come from Fiji, a very tropical country. I'm meeting people, I'm like HG Prabhu from Fiji. And probably I'm asking him, why do you want to freeze yourself here? We had such a wonderful place, Fiji. Why do you want to freeze yourself? But my point that I'm trying to drive is, we do these things with determination. We do these things with determination. But when it comes to devotional service, where is the determination? We say, okay, I'm not able to do. Today I was very busy, don't chant my rounds. This is food, right? This is food. Everyone is concerned about the food for the body. But how many of us are thinking about food for the soul? Maybe you get one samosa less, you go home, you start feeling hungry again. But have you ever thought, you chant one round less, or you don't chant Krishna's name the whole day? It's almost like, you're fasting. The soul is fasting. We don't eat anything, we are fasting. And when you don't, how many of you don't eat anything and you feel more strength? for me, the thought of fasting, makes me weak. Forget about fasting. When the next day is Ekadashi, and I'm already thinking tomorrow is Ekadashi, what should we cook for Ekadashi? So everyone is concerned about the body. We are acting for the body with so much determination. Krishna is saying, Krishna's glorification, one has to endeavor. We have to make an effort. Don't sit back and think, when Krishna will want, I will also. Krishna is already wanting. Krishna has given you a human body. If Krishna did not want, why would we achieve human body? We might as well be born as animals or tree, plants, aquatics or whatever. As soon as we become human, first and foremost, after going through many lifetimes, bahunam janmanamante, many lifetimes we have taken this. I like sharing this example if it can motivate people. I always like this example that we all know. Creation began, and what is the first yuga in the creation? What is the first timeline in terms of time? What is the first yuga? Satyuga. Then after Satyuga, Treta Yuga. After that, and after that, Kali Yuga. In which yuga are we? Kali Yuga. So that means Satyuga is gone, Treta Yuga is gone, and Dwapar Yuga is gone, and we are in Kali Yuga. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes a bhajan, a prayer to Gopinath actually. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, every time you have come in Satyuga, Dwapar, Treta Yuga and Dwapar Yuga, and you have delivered the demons, and we are still here. And today if we were to discuss about demons, we say, oh, Ravana was a demon, Kamsa was a demon. But hello, then go back to Godhead. Let's rethink. Who's the demon? Are they the demon? Or us the demon? We have continued. Krishna came as Nrsingadev, Krishna came as Varaha, Krishna came as Lord Rama, Krishna came, Balaram came, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. We are still continuing. So it makes sense. We have to make endeavor. We have to make endeavor. And what is the greatest endeavor that you have to make? Fix your mind on chanting Hare Krishna. That's the most confidential part of the knowledge. It's a very simple process. Just give your commitment. Just give your commitment to chanting Hare Krishna. And just like you are traveling from one place to another. Say you are traveling from Sydney to Melbourne. How much fuel must you have in your car to be able to reach your destination? I haven't traveled by car. So anybody's traveled from Sydney to Melbourne in a vehicle, in a car, drive?
Only 2 tanks.
Huh?
Only 2 tanks.
Probably 2 tanks, yeah. You need 2 tanks of fuel to reach your destination. So Srila Prabhupada says, to reach your destination of Goloka Vrindavan Dham, the highest planet, spiritual planet, you need 16 rounds of fuel. If you do 14, will you reach? You will go towards the destination, but remember, you will not reach the destination. So you have to figure out. You just simply have to figure out. So that 2 fuel tanks of fuel that you need to get to Melbourne, you just figure it out yourself, whether you want to fuel up once and twice, or you may decide to go bit by bit. If you feel, driving lighter is good for you, then go for it. But make sure you reach the destination. And reaching the destination will require no less than 16 rounds of chanting Hare Krishna. So it is very nice. It is very motivating for me to see that you are all chanting on the beats. It's very nice. And I hope and I wish my assumption is correct that all of you are chanting 16 rounds. If you are not, then take this inspiration that the destination will be achieved with my minimum 6 minutes. So that requires endeavoring and with great determination. If material achievements require determination, why not spiritual? Krishna wants to see your determination, and then Krishna will. That is why the acharyas describe, every time you see Gopinathji, he's standing in that Tribhanga form, his crossed leg. So why is Krishna standing like that? He is ready to run for the devotees. All he needs is the calling from the devotee. The calling from the devotee. And I also like this, sharing this example. Just like, those who are mothers. Those who are mothers, they know. Those who are fathers, they may also know. But, fathers will basically slip it, Mothers are able to feel or read the vibrations of the heart. Fathers may not be, but mothers do. So, when a mother has a small baby, the baby cries. When the baby cries, just by the sound vibration of the baby's cry, the mother is able to know whether the baby is hungry, whether the baby needs a diaper change, or whether the baby is just crying, like that, you don't need to give attention. Are here mothers, do we have mothers here in this room who have had this experience? Lovely mother. The other mothers, you need to work on yourself a bit more. Just by the simple crying. For the father, it sounds the same. So similarly, when we are chanting Krishna's name, we are calling upon Krishna. Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Krishna Krishna! Hare Hare! Hare Rama! Hare Rama! Rama Rama! Hare Hare! When this calling is coming right from the bottom of your heart, it pushes your sincere feelings for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Krishna can feel it. When it is done very superficially, Krishna also feels it. And that is why Krishna is saying, Ye yatha mam prapadyante, as you surrender, so shall I reciprocate. Krishna is taking no blame. I am ready to give full reciprocation, but it depends on the price you pay. The price you pay. So we should all, this is the main, we are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Srila Prabhupada is such an expert. He knows our mind cannot be steady in one thing, therefore Srila Prabhupada has given us so many services to do. But the backbone of all the services, the backbone of all the services is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Even if you are doing Sankirtan, even if you are doing Harinam Sankirtan, even if you are doing deity worship, even if you are, sharing knowledge, like the service I am doing at this point in time, if we have not taken shelter of the holy name, and if we have not taken the appropriate amount of fuel, we will not go far. So, there's an expression, it's like, what do they say? Soldiers in pajamas, We need to, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what's the process? Janma sarthak kari kara parupakara. We need to. The first step in God realization, Srimad Bhagavatam says, the first step in God realization is self-realization. Each one of us have to work on ourselves. The association of devotees can only become very, very powerful if there are powerful personalities present in the assembly. So each one of us has to work on ourselves to become empowered. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has just been 520 years ago. It's just like, just yesterday. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This close we are to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And every time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only appears after appearance of Krishna. So this again, this cycle of yugas. Krishna was just 5,000 years ago. This is how close we are. And when you are this close to someone, doesn't that deepen your love? Just like a young boy and a young girl, they're always together. First they are classmates, then they become friends, then they become close friends, and then they fall in love. So the material processes are simply a replica of the spiritual processes. So we keep in the association of devotees, we keep in the association of Krishna, we fall in love with Krishna. That's the goal of life. That's what's the value for human life. That's the value for human life. I just love this example. It makes sense to people. People can relate to it. You have $100 AUD. You know the value for your money. How much the purchasing power of $100 is. You look at your basket of your shopping. Okay, this is $100 worth. If it was any less, you wouldn't be happy. You'd be disappointed. If you sent your child for shopping and he brings two loaves of bread with 100 AUD, the parents will just go crazy. So we should think like that. This human life, the purchasing power of human life is love of God. So how can we settle for anything less? Or why should we be attracted by the artificial imitation glitters of this world and get the purchasing power of your human life discounted? So the more we are in the association of devotees, the more we talk about this subject matter, the more we have conversation around this, the more it will settle into our mindset. Otherwise the mind has always been wandering the world and the mind gets very easily attracted. Even though you are sitting here, you are all facing Radha Gopinath. If a big bang happens at the back, how many of you will continue to look at Radha Gopinath ji? The mind will you will all turn your face to the sound. So this is how the mind works. So this verse is saying, always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination and bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. And before I wrap up, I want to take this into the conclusion. So the expansion of Vedic literatures, there was one Veda divided into 4, difficult to understand, divided into Shrutis and Smritis and Upanishads and everything. That was also difficult to understand. Then Vyas ji did storytelling by the Puranas. He did 17 Puranas, is dissatisfied, and Narad ji is saying, the problem is you have not talked about pure devotional service. So then Vyasadev, he writes Srimad Bhagavatam. How many verses are there in Srimad Bhagavatam? How many verses? 18,000 verses. So he does a compilation of 18,000 verses to talk about pure love of Krishna. Now this is the interesting one. He writes 17,999 verses and makes a conclusion in the 18,000th verse, and the conclusion is Nam Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukha Sammanas Tam Namami Harim Param. What is the meaning? I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Hari, the congregational chanting of whose name, holy names, destroys all sinful reactions, and the offering of obeisances unto him, unto whom relieves all material suffering. We will do all dharma, artha, kam, and will come to moksha, and moksha we are aspiring. Relief from all sinful reactions and material suffering. So what is devotional service? Chanting Krishna's name and offering obeisances to another Gopinath. So that's the facility Srila Prabhupada has created for all of us, and we should take all advantage and put all endeavor to taking advantage of this. And the minimum standard, I am not trying to scare you, I am trying to motivate you, inspire you, that it will take 16 rounds of japa. That's the minimum fuel requirement to reach the highest planet of the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan Dham, and continue to fill up on the way by offering obeisances. So this is so simple. This is the simplest process. So when you hear from Krishna himself, Krishna is telling a very simple process. So I don't want to create any more information overload. I'll stop here now. I think it's almost time for Aarti as well. So just few minutes for any questions or comments. Srila Prabhupada said, after every class we should give some opportunity if anybody has any doubts or any comments, any additions. Ghanshyam Prabhu would like to say something.
No, as you said, I also said that Bhagavatam also said that Satam Prasangan Mokti.
Yes.
That those who get together and converse about
Krishna. Yeah.
change the nation.
So this class, we should all understand, when we are here, when we are sitting with Krishna, this is our personal communication we are having with Krishna. When you are chanting, you are talking to Krishna. When you are hearing about Krishna, Krishna is talking, then you are hearing. That's how the conversation goes. That's personal. So that's how we do. Okay, so I think now it's time for Aarti. Shri Radha Gopinath Ji ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Save